Hey there, welcome back to the Filthy Rich Writer YouTube channel. Now today, you are going to get a special sneak peek into how we coach our students in the Comprehensive Copywriting Academy. What's coming up, is one of our laser coaching sessions, which are 10-minute sessions designed to answer really any questions that students bring to us. Now you might hear some CCA related terms, things like Pitchapalooza, which is a student-only event, but head down to the description below if you need a little bit more context. Now, our students are all in different states of learning copywriting and starting their careers and building their careers and all that kind of thing. And also, some of them want to be freelance, some of them want to be part-time, some of them want to be on staff. So you are going to hear a variety of different questions related to copywriting, business, all kinds of stuff. But I guarantee it's all going to be pretty helpful. So if you want to check out any other topics we cover, make sure you subscribe to the Laser Coaching playlist. Exciting, right? Now, even though you are not the one in the hot seat, I'm positive you will still learn a lot. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Last week, I actually got an email back from someone I had reached out to on LinkedIn. They posted that they were looking for a copywriter. And it's actually for like a really big, well, I don't know, really big, for like a fairly big company. And so I figured maybe this would be a good time I'm talking with them Wednesday, so to talk with you guys about that before doing it.
Perfect.
Great timing.
So
Yeah.
what can you tell us? What are you comfortable sharing? What kinds of things you...
Yeah, so they're this brand called Keep Nature Wild. They make like t-shirts and stickers, kind of just like for like outdoor based phrases, and I don't know, just that market. And they're fairly big. I mean, I was looking up, at first I thought they were smaller, and then I was looking up their revenue history, and they have like a $4 million revenue history for like last year. So they're like fairly big. And so they emailed me back and they said that they're looking for a copywriter to help with brand positioning, a new tagline, key messaging, and then after that, after they get all of that straightened out, then website copy for their new website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've written a lot of website copy, a lot of sales pages, landing pages, some like launch emails, and so this is kind of a new project, and so just trying to figure out how to, I don't know, ask the right questions and like understand what they're needing really, in order to hopefully work with them.
Well, it's awesome. Kind of new because, and I say that because if you did all, and no big deal if you didn't, but if you did do all of the action sheets in the CCA, you'll remember you did like the brand voice, you did the persona work, you did all that kind of branding work. That brand position, that's going to be a part of that brand positioning. So being able to come in and ask about target audience, about tone of voice, about how they want to come across to their target audience, about the kinds of words those target audiences use, that you have done some of that work. So it's not going to be, completely new to you by any means.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think a great question to ask for really all of these projects too, which congratulations, these are awesome projects to be working on. Is this the kickoff that's happening Wednesday for it all, or
so
discovery
I don't
still?
know.
Or?
Yeah, I think it's just a discovery call. I don't know if they're interviewing other people or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I was going to say and this might, so depending on how that call pans out, but one of the questions I'd love to ask is things that they love right now that are on their site and in their materials, things that really capture their voice. And if there's anything where they're like, no, this is outdated, we want to get away from this, or if they have competitors that they feel like this, and not even competitors, that's not even the competitors. Yes. always good to know about them. But if there's another company, perhaps in a completely different industry, that they love the voice of, I feel like a lot of clients I work with are like, we love Apple, and everyone wants to be super simple and have the Apple tone of voice. But that can be helpful to, at least for you to start to understand, okay, they like this, and that might help you put words to craft that tone guide and to nail down what specifically it is they want. Because I think clients are very good at being visual and saying, okay, I like this, but they don't necessarily always have the vocabulary to say, we want it to be fun, or we want it to be professional, or might not have those word choices that you're going to distill down and make it easy for whoever comes in as a writer and for yourself to then write material for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to Kate's point, since you're not quite sure whether this is a discovery call or whether it's an interview or whether you're going to kind of want to treat it as almost a little bit of both. I mean, I would go in and ask them the questions that you want to ask in a discovery call. What are your goals? What have your frustrations been? What are the outcomes of these projects? And then dig deeper into each of the projects. Okay, well, how do you want this to happen? And, all that kind of thing. But also, I would go into it saying, you also want to show that you've done the research, that you've done some thinking. So you could say, to Kate's point, when clients don't always know how to be clients, you can go into it and say, I obviously am coming into this having done some research. From what I've seen, these seem to be traits of your brand voice. How does each one of these traits, does this ring true to you? Do you feel like I've forgotten anything, or is there anything here that you kind of want to move away from? Because that's going to do two things. First of all, if it's a discovery call and they're going to move forward with you, then awesome. That's one thing that you can cross off your list. But two, it shows how serious you are about the project and how much you know about copywriting, and that you're like, all right, I've already done this work ahead of time, so let's dig right in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that's super helpful. And that's a good point. Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping, when I emailed them, honestly, a lot, I guess I work for 2 agencies as well, where I work on different, a variety of projects and clients. But as far as on my own, pretty much everyone I work with has been in that outdoor industry, because that's just where I'm closest to and everything I know. And so, yeah, when I emailed them, I explained that, kind of went into that. That's like a USP essentially. And so they, the lead graphic designer, is the one who emailed me back. I originally sent the email to the CEO. And she was like, oh, we'd love to talk about, your process, your rates, your availability. So I was like, oh, maybe they are just interested in working with me, or I don't know. Hopefully it's just a discovery call.
Well, if they're asking about rates and process, they're at least interested, right? Which already puts you in a really great place. So the way especially when you're talking to the graphic designer, if that's who this call is with, you also want to talk about collaboration, about this graphic designer's process, about how he or she likes to collaborate with copywriters. It could be that you're talking to the lead graphic designer because there isn't a creative director. This guy may be filling that creative director role. So if you can come in and say, as the copywriter, this is how I often work with clients and how I like to collaborate with designers. And Kate, definitely step in if you feel differently, but I think most, if not every single designer I've ever worked with has been like, yes, I love it when a copywriter is very clear about how they work and tells me that they're open to collaborating and making changes on screen together, if that's the case. I think that helps really put a designer in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Just not a calm place, but
at ease. Yeah. It puts them at ease.
At ease. That's it. Thank you.
You're not going to step on their toes. I think that's a great point. I think I would frame it as, hey, here's how typically my process goes. And then explicitly state but hey, I know it varies from client to client because I have plenty of flexibility in how I work and how you best work to to make that point that it's not just all about your process, but you adapt your process to really fit what might also work for them, and to show that you're capable of being flexible. And then to Nicki's point, I would have some of those key things of, hey, when I work with a designer, I know that what's in a Word doc is a lot longer than what's going to be in layout, and letting them know that you know that hey, this 12-point font in Word becoming, you know, whatever 100-point font that they use in a headline is going to look very different, so that you're used to adapting and making sure things are the best solution, that whatever you're producing is the best solution, regardless of copy design. It's going to work together to come to the best end state. So I think if you can have some of those, think through, okay, when I've worked with a designer, what are some really beneficial things to our process together? Those might be the things you pause a little bit longer on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point too, to talk directly to her as well about her process.
Mm-hmm. Ask her questions. Hey, how do you like to work? And then you can kind of jump and be like, oh yeah, you know, like that, here's how that works with how I work, or, you know,
because
commonalities.
Don't forget that you are making sure that it's a good fit for you, just as much as they're making sure that that you're a good fit for them, you know? So it's completely reasonable to ask those kinds of questions.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. No, I'm so excited, and I'll definitely post in the group how it goes and everything on Wednesday.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We have a little bit of time left. Do you have any other questions or anything you want to go over real quick?
I guess maybe just one thing. So I feel like I'm starting to look at probably like 10 brands that I know about so far that I've like really looked into. A lot of my past clients have been very service-based, and I really want to move into the more product-based businesses. And so I've started to really look for those, and I found a few that are medium to larger size brands where I think, you know, some of them don't even have email marketing or things like that. But I guess just in general, do you guys, I mean, just approaching like larger brands, is it any different than, you know, like the solopreneur who you know, is the one like reading the emails and they're like directly involved with everything?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of, I think perception is a big thing here, especially in terms of like what's a big brand and what isn't a big brand. Like you were saying, when you did research into this other company, it was actually a lot bigger than you expected it to be. Like I know a lot of solopreneurs who were in that multiple 7-figure per year bracket. And I also know a lot of like product-based businesses that when you look at them online, they look flash and they look great and they've got influencers, but they're like multiple 6-figure or like single 7-figure. So don't be intimidated by what you perceive as the size of a company, because even if it's a giant, super giant company, you still, if they don't have an email program, then you still have plenty of ways that you can help them. But even if they do have an email program, that's not exactly my point. But, you know, you have so many ways that you can benefit a company of any size, really. But you kind of approach it the same way as how can you help them? As you're doing research, what can you identify that like, oh, hey, this is a huge opportunity for you. And I just want to raise my hand and let you know. Oh, and also, by the way, I could do this for you. So let's get on a call.
Yeah, I think the only thing that the difference is the company structure might be a little bit different if there are more employees. So the person that you're emailing might end up finding that creative director, or you might end up finding a marketing manager or whoever, versus going direct and emailing the owner. So that might be really where it varies most. But in terms of your pitch, yeah, to Nicki's points, where can you add value? And so it's that same process.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
So exciting.
That's exciting. Yeah.
God. No, yeah. I'm very excited to start. I don't know. I've probably been ready, but I finally feel ready to start like reaching out to like larger companies. And so yeah, it's exciting.
That's great.
I feel like you've come so far in such, like, I was trying to think the last time that we chatted, and you've like, I don't know, maybe you can speak, like you're doing it full time, right? I mean,
yeah, it's been really great. Just, cold pitching has just been such a huge, I still can't figure out how to use Facebook groups. I like gave up on it. And like cold pitching was just like great. And like, so I feel like most of my emails get opened, if not like responded to. So yeah, it's just been with consistency, things have been good.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah. Remind me, did you start with us was it over the summer? Was it like June, July?
I started in July.
That's what I thought. Okay. Yeah.
Right around the Copy Summit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So from July to what are we, like end of February, and you're doing it full time? That's awesome.
And one of the crazy things is, so what actually made me buy the course and really get into, really commit to copywriting is like a Reddit post that I had read that this copywriter had written. And now I write like all of her copy for her agency for all the clients she gets, which is hilarious. So yeah, I work with her and then I have like my own clients. So yeah, it's funny how that whole process has come full circle with seeing her as kind of like where I started, and now I write for all of her clients.
That's awesome.
Amazing. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. Yeah. We're glad you're doing so well. Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome.
Thanks for everything.
Believe us. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you don't miss any tips, tools, or tactics for copywriters by clicking subscribe right now. And of course, you can always find us over at filthyricwriter.com. We'll see you next time.